I never realized that you were interested in trains. Are you aware that at its peak, the Orient Express carried more than 10,000 people a year?
It isn't really the train itself that I'm interested in.
What then?
It's the experience. The Orient Express is romantic, mysterious. It's an elegant way to see exotic places and meet fascinating people.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Fully Functional, a TNG podcast. I'm Maggie, joined by Jeff and Dory.
Yo!
Jeff and I are veteran Trekkies, and Dory is a newly minted Trekkie, and we are taking her on her first journey through Star Trek: The Next Generation. And we are almost at the end, folks. Today we are discussing the third last episode of the series, Emergence. Original air date, May 7th, 1994. And as always, we'll take it to Dory for the recap.
Okay, so we start off, we have Data monologuing from the Tempest, but he's in the holodeck and he's like walking around monologuing, and he legit looks like the hair and facial hair, it looks like Jason Isaacs in Peter Pan 2003.
Oh, God. Wait, that was... Jason Isaacs was in that? Damn.
Yeah, my dear friend Jason Isaacs.
That's a weird movie.
Listen, I was obsessed with that movie when it came out. I had such a crush on the guy that played Peter Pan.
Who is now long forgotten.
Yeah, truly. The funny thing is, like, I have seen him in other stuff, like, a few years later. He's not a great actor. Sorry.
He's just that guy.
He's not, yeah. He was, I don't know what he's doing these days, but I was a very big fan in my youth. And he's the reason that I learned what MSN Groups was.
You were a big fan of the Pan. I remember MSN Groups. There's a quote that I still use from somebody's profile that I found on MSN Groups, and that is, Too Fast, Too Furious is the greatest movie alive.
And?
Alive.
What?
Oh my God.
Alive. Yeah.
Dory, I just looked up a picture.
Sorry.
Dory, I just looked up a picture, and you are so fucking right. He does look exactly like him.
Yes, he does. He looks like the hair, the facial hair, immediately I was like, holy shit, it's Captain Hook.
Yeah.
Anyways, so okay, so yeah, Data's like, hey, Picard, what do you think? And Picard's like, well, I couldn't see anything, so I don't know.
Yeah.
It was very dark in there.
Yeah, because, like, Data, he turns a quarter, and we see Picard, and he's, like, kind of just, like, staring off into nothing. And Data's like,
yeah,
dude, you're getting distracted. I'm trying to do a thing here for you.
And so Data asks the holodeck to, like, brighten the lights a bit. And then he's like, hey, any advice on playing Prospero? And Picard is giving some, like, thoughtful insight into Prospero's character. But then they both get distracted by a train in the distance. Yeah. And first you hear it, and then it's, like, approaching. And they're both like, what? What the fuck? And then it's getting closer and closer, and Picard's like, hey, end holodeck program doesn't work. That train is heading right for them.
They also do not move a centimeter.
They don't. Yeah, they stand exactly in place and until the very last second when Data pushes them both, like, out of the way. And then they just sort of lie there being like, what the fuck, as they watch the train just go by them, like, carrying on. Then we get the credits, and then Data and Picard exit the holodeck, and Picard is kind of scraped up. A lot of people are getting scraped up in the face this episode.
Yeah, I noticed that. It's the exact same place, and I'm just like,
yeah.
I feel like that hasn't happened before.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then Data learns that the train is from one of Dr. C's holodeck programs. So I was like, oh, I hope this is going in a direction that I would like. Like Dr. C and Picard investigating on this train.
Nope.
I was sorely disappointed, but I was really excited for like a second.
I actually have something to say about that later, but we'll keep it on the down low for now.
Yeah. So Picard is getting treated at it's the train is the Orient Express.
Because of course it is.
Yeah, classic.
Well, it's like what's a famous train?
Thomas.
No, it's not that. There's this thing about Star Trek writing that every time that they need to like reference, a pop culture thing, it's always something that was like too out of date for the 90s.
Yeah.
Probably because they're trying to avoid like, having to deal with licensing or anything like that. But also probably because these guys grew up with like parents who were older than boomers that were into the things that they're referencing.
Oh, of course, yeah. Here's the other thing that I think it is. I think that they probably think... I agree with your assessment. Like, I think that's a part of the equation. I think another part of the equation is that they pick things that they think people will think is, like, intellectual.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. That's probably why the Shakespeare, or maybe the Shakespeare is just because the writers are big fucking nerds.
Oh, yeah.
It could be, but like this show does tend to pick purely like classics in different like different mediums to talk about. They never pick something niche. So I think it's
and the Shakespeare,
we're smart.
The Shakespeare, I do think it's for like to like look intellectual, but also they got a lot of Shakespearean actors that work on the show. They are nerds. True. Star Trek has always been kind of Shakespearean in its like essence. So
well, absolutely.
Yeah. So I will give them like a little bit of a pass on like the like going back to the Shakespeare all the time.
Oh no, I 100% give them a pass. I'm just saying they're nerds. That's it. Really.
Oh, of course.
Sorry, you know what that made me think of? So just saying that like Star Trek is like Shakespearean. I just thought to prosper or to live long. That is the question. Or the other way around, to live long or to prosper. That is the question.
That's hilarious.
Terrible, Dory. Terrible.
To make it so is the thing or whatever. I don't know. I'm coming up with nothing. I have limited Shakespeare knowledge. Anyway, so so it's a recreation of the Orient Express, and the train has somehow ended up in Prospero's Island due to a malfunction in the holodeck data retrieval program. So Data will shut it down, and he'll shut down all the holodecks and try to fix it. So then Picard goes to get treated by Dr. C, and Picard's like, I didn't know you were into trains. And I immediately was like, she's not into trains, man. She's into the Orient Express, the experience TM.
Yeah, but I did think it was cute how he was like, oh, you're into trains? Let me impress you with my train facts.
Yeah. I was like, bro, even I know this woman's not going to be into trains. She likes the vibe. And then I was like thinking there could be a chance that she would also maybe be into like the Agatha Christie novel. So she wants to like experience the mystery, because we know Dr. C loves to solve a crime.
Maybe she's really into Poirot.
To get those investigation. Maybe. And so I was like, oh my God, if we get this episode is like her and Picard in like period accurate outfits trying to solve shit on this train. I'm like, ugh, the dream.
Actually, Dory,
side note,
the
Poirot TV series underrated.
Little bit of a what do you call it, of a connection to Agatha Christie there. There is stock footage of the Orient Express from the 1970s, I think, adaptation of Murder on the Orient Express, because Paramount owned it.
Nice.
So that's what they used for the train footage.
Yeah. Did Agatha Christie write Poirot?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought it was a separate thing for some reason. Because I'm like, Murder on the Orient Express is Poirot. And then I didn't realize that she had written Poirot. I thought it was different mysteries for some reason.
No, it's her. I'm pretty sure it's her. Yeah. So
Yes, it
Dr.
is her.
C says, the Orient Express is romantic, mysterious. It's an elegant way to see exotic places and meet fascinating people. Do you know that one time on one trip, both Sigmund Freud and Gertrude Stein just happened to be on the same car? They ended up having dinner together every night. And then Picard says, I wonder what they talked about. Mm-hmm. And Dr. C then says, why don't you take a trip yourself and find out? And I was like, yes, do it. Mm-hmm. They do not.
No.
Listen, now, but like maybe they will in the future. I just get my hopes just.
Well, you've got 2 episodes.
Yeah, my hopes are not high. Okay, so Riker then calls Picard and he's like, all sectors are ready to begin the survey. So then Picard says, oh no, so Dr. C then says, don't forget the trip, Jean-Luc. Think about it. You never know who you'll meet on the Orient Express. And I really, really thought at this point that like, oh, we're gonna get something cool and fun.
Nope.
No. I continually get disappointed. Mm-hmm. Anyways, so okay, this captain's log is after weathering an unexpected magnascopic storm in the Makota sector, we are continuing our search for the new Federation colony sites. So Riker is showing Picard there are no M-class planets in this particular region, and then the ship starts to shake. And Data was like, oh, we've moved into warp. And then Riker's like, who gave that command? And I just wrote, the train. So then Data's like, no one. Also, Hellman navigation controls are not functioning, and speed is at warp 7.3 and holding. And Geordi is also like, what the fuck's going on? Mm-hmm. He's trying to take the engines offline. The computer's locked out. All the propulsion controls, Geordi can't access any of the overrides, and Picard wants them to stop, but they got to do like emergency core shutdown to do so. So then Picard's like, well, do it, shut it all down. And then the ship immediately stops. Mm-hmm. And then they're like, oh yeah, so we're like 30 billion kilometers from the original location. Yeah. And Geordi's like, I don't really know what happened.
Also, on a cosmic scale, that's like not that far. I mean, it's like medium far, I'd say, probably.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but apparently it's like a good thing they jumped when they did, because there was a theta flux distortion building up around the ship, and the sensors only alerted them because there was not. This did. I don't know. There's a lot of like confusing. There's so much shit in this episode. Anyways, yeah, they would have fucking exploded or whatever if they stayed 1.7 seconds later.
The main problem that this episode really comes into is the amount of like standing around and explaining tech shit that they do.
Yeah. So then Geordi says if the Enterprise hadn't jumped, they would have been blown to pieces. And then for the first time in the 5.5 years since we started watching this show, I noticed that there's a zipper at the back of Picard's shirt.
Yeah.
I never noticed it.
Oh.
I guess like we don't see like the back of him that often or something, but I just have never noticed it. It's normally like it's a hidden zip, but like I noticed it for the first time maybe ever. And I was like, huh.
I mean, to be fair, I think
it doesn't do anything. I just never noticed it.
Yeah, to be fair, I think the costume department and like I think they work like pretty hard to make you not notice the zippers. So
it just like it was just focused on his back for longer than for like a few seconds, and I just was like, oh, I see a zipper.
The zipper.
So it's not super visible. I don't know. I just noticed. Oh, yeah.
The zipper seam stands out a lot more on the original uniform variant.
Yeah.
It doesn't really stand out as much on the newer one.
Well, that's why I think it's taken up to the third last episode for me to notice.
Yeah.
Yep. Probably.
Okay, so then Geordi and Data enter the Jeffries tube. That is the Jeffries tube, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Fuck yeah. Okay. And they're like,
that's my tube.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And they're like, wow, how did that even happen? And also wild that it happened just in time to save the ship. And Data suggests, hey, the sensors detected a dangerous anomaly that threatened the Enterprise, and it's possible that they triggered a safety device that caused the ship to avoid destruction. I'm like, what safety device? Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And Geordi points out that there is no direct link between warp drive and the sensors, and so that's kind of like, okay. So they open this panel and there's like a glow stick ball just sort of in there. And Geordi goes to reach for it, but there's a force field around it, and they start to call it a node.
It's not really a glow stick ball. It's a silly straw. An extremely silly straw.
Yeah.
It's like there's, well, I don't, okay, not in like the glow sticks that you would buy at like the dollar store. There used to be these glow sticks that I used to get as a kid, where it was like these long, thin things where where you could turn it into like a circle. So you could put it on your head or wear it as a necklace. That's what I'm thinking of. So it's rather than like a ball, it's like a knot, I guess. Yeah. That's probably a better way to describe it.
It's like, if you remember like the old school screensavers, the one that was just like 3D pipes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the one that was
that's
just like
that's
that was just like pipes. That's basically what it's like. It's like a little pile of spaghetti 3D pipes.
Yeah, that's a pretty good image. So they call them nodes. And then Geordi and Data found a bunch of nodes throughout the ship. They're all connected, linking sensors to the warp control and defense systems. And then Geordi says that the sensors detected the danger, the defense system reacted to the threat and activated the warp engines to protect them. And then Riker's like, okay, well, where did the nodes come from? They don't answer him. They're just, Data's like, I think they may, but he's like, where are they from? But then he's like, they may have come from the storm, but we don't really know how their effects on the system or whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, sure. But they also appear to be multiplying and will become progressively more difficult to control the ship the more that they grow. And all these nodes intersect in holodeck 3. And Geordi thinks they may be able to find a way to use the holodeck circuitry to permanently disable the nodes. So holodeck 3 is operating even though Data technically shut everything down earlier. And it seems to have reactivated itself and will not disengage. And we've got several programs running simultaneously. So Worf, Riker, and Data enter the holodeck 3, and they enter onto the holodeck express, the Orient Express.
The holodeck express. Yep. Sounds good.
And so then we're in the car, and we see a person in full armor trying to cut newspaper in half. With scissors, but we do end up knowing they eventually make sort of like one of those it's like a banner but like cut out people where you like fold it really small, make a design, and then when you open it it's like a bunch of figures or something.
Yeah, there's a name for that.
I don't know what it is either. Yeah, but that's what that person in armor is doing. There's also 2 flappers and this guy in a suit doing a puzzle, the 3 of them. And then there's this like country boy who's just kind of hanging out, and then we get a very dramatic entrance of black boots, then we see spurs, and then to reveal who I have referred to in my notes as not Wyatt Earp, TM.
Got it. All right.
Like literally this guy with the mustache, it looked like freaking Kurt Russell in Tombstone. Like this is I think that's who he played. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm like,
it's funny that they spent so much time on his entrance and making him look as like menacing as possible, and then he
does jack shit. He doesn't do anything.
Yeah, he's not even really there.
Yeah. So yeah, we've got not Wyatt Earp, TM. And then he pulls a piece of the puzzle out of his pocket and adds it to puzzle on the table. And then it's so funny, but very dramatic, but it was good. And then Data's like, oh, this scene consists of 7 distinct holodeck programs. And I just want to know who had the program with the flappers, because that seems cool.
Yeah.
Unless it's related to someone else who we'll discuss soon. So Data has the the scanner, and he's trying to find where the nodes are in the train. Then the door opens, and oh, here we go, Conductor, who legit, first glance, this guy looked exactly like Guillermo del Toro. And he's asking to see everyone's ticket, and he's going around like single hole punching the tickets. And then the person in armor holds up that like figure, like paper figure thing, and he punches one of the figures, the hole puncher. And then the Conductor goes up to, he ignores Data, Riker, and Worf initially. So Data finds a bunch of like nodes behind the wall panel, but it appears to be connected directly to the holodeck's main power coupling. So Riker's like, hey, go ahead and depolarize the entire power grid. Like he has to, the power grid is also underneath the train. So they bend down to try to like open it. And then all of a sudden the Conductor's like, oh, hey, where's your ticket? And then Riker's like, yeah, sorry, we left our tickets in our compartments. And then he's like, Mr. Worf, I told you. Then
he throws fucking Worf.
He throws him under the train, actually.
Well, okay, fair.
He's like, Mr. Worf, I told you to bring the tickets. And then Worf is just like, I forgot. And then the Conductor's like, you guys, I don't think you belong on the train. Mm-hmm. And then then the engineer from the train busts in, and he's like, leave them alone. They're just trying to help. And then the Conductor tells him to go back to the engine, and the engineer's like, they're trying to hijack the train. And I'm like, who? I was so confused. I thought he meant like everyone. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I don't know. Everyone seems to be doing shit in here. Who's hijacking the train? Like, I was very confused. And then he gets shot in the back.
Yeah.
And then reveal it's not Al Capone, TM.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think yeah.
He's a Chicago gangster from the 20s, 30s.
Yes.
Yeah. So then Geordi is also at a panel in engineering, and when the engineer gets shot, then like there's this sort of not explosion, but that the panel sets off a reaction, mm-hmm. and Geordi kind of goes flying, and there's like sparks flying all over the place. And we learned that navigational relays overloaded. And so then the Conductor goes and pulls the emergency brake, and then the ship goes into warp. So then not Al Capone TM pulls a full out brick from the engineer's overalls.
Yeah.
And he's like, he was trying to make off with my brick.
Yeah. And it's just a brick.
It's just a brick. And then the Conductor goes, take care of that. We can't afford to lose it. And they show Riker's face, and he's just like, what the fuck are they talking about?
Riker's usually the one that's bricked up, so.
Oh, for sure.
Hey.
Hi-yo.
So then Data lets Riker know that the holodeck safeties have been disengaged, and the that not Al Capone's gun could be lethal now. Mm-hmm. So Riker's like, all right, well, let's get the fuck out of here ASAP. And then the Conductor and not Al Capone kind of smile at each other, and I'm like, you guys gonna get together the second the crew's off the train? Like, what's going on? Why are you guys smiling like that? It's weird.
I actually quite like the actor who plays the Conductor. I find he comes off a little sinister just by being as like completely fake as he is when he's like, tickets please. And
I think everyone's pretty good in this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, except for the knight.
Oh, yeah, the knight, yeah. I mean, but the I feel like the knight is still okay. That's just, they didn't have anything to do. Yeah. It wasn't an ability issue. So Riker's like, okay, so... sorry. Okay, so we've learned that the nodes are connected to sensors, engines, replicators, propulsion systems, and they're all working independently from the main computer, and the nodes all link through the holodeck. Mm-hmm. So Riker's like, okay, so like, but why is it all linked to the holodeck? And Data points out that, I got this part mixed up with an earlier. Data does answer Riker when I forgot, this is where Riker asks a question and doesn't get the answer to his question. Last time Riker's like, where'd this come from? And Data's like, it was probably maybe from the like magnoscopic storm thing we went through.
I can't believe he says magnoscopic. That literally doesn't mean shit. And then in hate that word. That's like a Voyager level techno babble.
Riker's like, hey, but why is it all linked to the holodeck? And Data does not answer him. He's like, well, it looks like everything's connected, and everything in the holodeck affects the rest of the ship. It's like, hey, but why the holodeck? And so,
and the thing is like, they could have easily made up an answer too. Because like,
but yeah, he just does not answer why the holodeck.
Because it's like, oh, the holodeck is sort of a combination of all these technologies, and it makes sense that it would be the central hub, and it has like all this shit going on. Like, you could have made something up.
Yeah, and they don't. Yeah. But yeah, when they tried to destroy the nodes, even though they didn't actually do anything, they just like bent down. Then the characters on the train responded immediately to stop them. And then when the engineer tried to step in, he got shot. And the conductor signaled to change directions, and then so did the Enterprise. So then Data and Geordi recognize that the nodes are configured like a structure of Data's positronic brain. So then Data says that the nodes are in a process of creating a rudimentary neural net. And so Data says, unlikely as it may sound, I believe that the Enterprise might be forming an intelligence. Gasp. So,
wow, this should have huge ramifications for the future of Star Trek. Nope.
Yeah, it's truly, I was like, wow, good for her. Good for you, Enterprise.
I have opinions about this, but we'll get to that later.
So then in the conference room, Data shows basically the whole crew. I was like, holy shit, when's the last time everyone's been in there together? But it's like from left to right, we got Worf, Riker, Geordi, Troy, Picard, Dr. C, and they're like, look, this is a diagram of the synaptic map of a human neocortex. This is Data's positronic net, and then this is the schematic of the connection nodes throughout the ship's system, and they all are like a pretty similar shape. And Data's like, this is a sort of a neural matrix forming on the ship, and still relatively primitive but intelligent nonetheless. And he believes it's an emergent property. Like, okay. So then Data says the complex systems can sometimes behave in ways that are entirely unpredictable. The human brain, for example, might be described in terms of cellular functions and neurochemical interactions. But that description does not explain human consciousness. A capacity for that exceeds simple neural functions. Consciousness is an emergent property. And then Geordi says, in other words, something that's more than just the sum of its parts. So it's like, yeah, sure. Okay, so the ship is like a bunch of complex systems, and which gives them like characteristics of a biological organism. Okay. And so then everyone else is like, oh yes, like it sees with the sensors, it talks with communication systems, and it reproduces like the replicators. I'm like, okay, all right. So
it's postmodernist garbage in the end. That's what, like, I've talked about this before, how TNG is really, really into metaphysics. And this is right along those fucking lines. And I get it. It was in at the time, especially in, like, pop culture philosophy. But, God, do they do it a lot.
So Data is like, yep, self-determining intelligence is emerging. And the processing center, basically the imagination, is the holodeck 3. So Troy is like, what if I'd like to go to the holodeck and like interact with the characters and maybe get a better idea of what the fuck's going on. So Picard sends Worf and Data with her also to try to gain control of the train, which hopefully would give them control of the ship without damaging the nodes. So Picard says, if the ship is truly emerging intelligence, then we have a responsibility to treat it with the same respect as any other being. I have something controversial to add to that. But I don't know if I want to say it.
I want to hear it.
I wish they extended the same belief system to women.
Yeah.
Dunk.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So Troy, Data, Worf are back in. So that's not really controversial.
Yeah.
I just was like, do I want to start something? Not really start something, but like, you know.
Yeah, you know us. What would
No,
that
not
start?
with you, not
We would
start
just go,
something.
yeah,
I just
we
like,
get it.
do I want to be kind of?
Do I want to go there?
I don't know.
Do I want to get
Yeah.
my co-host to
No,
agree
I know
with
you
me?
guys would agree with me. It's not controversial for you guys, but just, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they seem the show seems to have a double standard.
Yes, very much. Okay, so Troy, Data, Worf, they're back on the train, and one of the flappers is tapping a metal goblet on the helmet of the guy wearing the armor.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
and
that
then
shot.
Not Wyatt Earp is tied up, we'll say, playing cards with not Al Capone, and Data suggests that Worf and Troy distract the characters while Data goes to deal with the power grid. So Worf and Troy go over to the country boy and the other flapper who are both working on the puzzle, and there's clearly missing pieces. And Worf goes, "Excuse me, have you finished the puzzle yet?" Like, Worf, so help me God.
Yeah.
And then
like, he's very lucky they didn't go like, does it look like we finished the puzzle?
And then Worf asks Troy if she recognizes the image, and she's like, no. And I'm like, God, even I know what this image is.
Yeah, it's the
And I'm
pipes
not
from
even-
the
I'm
old
like,
Windows
oh
Yeah,
my
but
98
Troy hasn't seen the
screensaver.
thing yet.
Yeah. So Troy then notices the card game, so she's like, I'll go check that out. And then Worf asks to join on like working on the puzzle, and then Worf goes, I would like to help. Tell me, what exactly are you making? And then the country boy goes, what do you think we're making? A puzzle. Oh my God. So then Troy goes up to not Al Capone and not Wyatt Earp and asks if she can be dealt into the game, but apparently it's a 2-man game, so sorry, Troy.
He emphasizes
And-
man also. 2-man
Yes,
game.
yeah. Yep. So then Troy asks not Al Capone if Al Capone. Okay, I was like, why am I throwing a K in there? That's not his name.
Al McCone.
Al Capone, if he killed the engineer to get the brick, and he's like,
Post
yeah,
Malone.
it's worth plenty, and I gotta get it to bring it to Keystone City. And then not Al Capone puts down his cards, and he goes, gin, and and it's just this symbol, and it's these symbols, which is the same symbol that's on the puzzle, and yeah, it's just this. It's all the same design, and Data is about to open the grid, and then the conductor appears, and he's like, "Next stop is Keystone City," and Troy thinks they should follow not Al Capone. They were also being kicked off anyways, so everyone was getting off at Keystone City, also known as New York, because they literally.
Oh yeah, they used the New York backlot for this shot because they were
Yeah.
like, I don't know, let's save money. To be fair, they were originally considering building a train car set for this, which would have set them back like $100,000 or something like that. But it turned out that they had access to the one that was used for the Dracula film from what do you call it?
90s
That
Like the one with
the one with
Keanu
Gary
Reeves
Oldman
and Winona
whatnot.
Ryder.
Yeah.
That's the one, yeah. Yeah, so they were able to just redress the inside of that
they
and use it.
they
instead.
didn't
It's a lot
redress it
cheaper.
because it literally, when they climbed,
Yeah.
when
No,
they
they
climbed
did,
out
they
of the
did.
subway, it literally said New York City Transit System, and it said Queens, Brooklyn.
No, the
the
train. The
Oh, okay,
train.
the
they
train,
reused.
whatever.
The New York City one. That's just
They
Paramount's New York
didn't do
backlot. They
jack
use that all
shit
the
for
time.
it though. They went out and they're like,
Yeah, I know.
New York, and I
Yeah.
was like, this is the cleanest New York City street I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, like
And so Data,
like
I was
not
like,
not
this is
only did they just use a backlot, which is like fair enough, but like they didn't even attempt to like hide that it's a New York City backlot.
yeah.
And the thing is, they didn't have to, because like the whole episode is just predicated on weird shit is happening and they're mixing programs. So why the hell not?
So then Data accesses the power grid, which is basically, he just opens like a manhole cover.
Yeah.
And so Troy then spots not Al Capone and goes after him. And so then Data almost gets hit by an old-timey taxi while working on the power grid, because obviously they're trying to stop him. And so we see not Al Capone, and it's funny though, because I was like, you have to, in order for people to know that it's New York City, you have to put scaffolding on the street.
Yes.
So this street scaffolding, of course. So not Al Capone he says there's this brick wall with missing a brick. And Troy's like, what are you doing here? And then not Al Capone goes, laying the foundation. And then he proceeds to put a gold brick in the middle of the wall, which is like the foundation. And the funny thing is, what I was thinking about during this part, it was like, okay, Keystone City, and he's putting the brick, like the foundation, but that doesn't fucking make sense.
Yeah, keystones aren't in the foundation.
Also,
they can be, depending on like, because that's what holds the thing together. But this is not a keystone situation, and you're not putting a fucking brick in the middle of the thing and foundation. This made no fucking sense.
Because isn't a keystone like, isn't it specifically like the stone that goes at the top of an arch?
It's typically, from my understanding, it's a piece that like holds everything together. So on an arch, it's that middle piece, but it's a different spot depending what the structure is.
Okay.
So it truly just depends what you're building, and that's where the piece is going to go. To be fair,
this entire episode, nothing in it is trying to be literal.
It just makes no sense.
It's like they're using metaphor.
Yeah, they just wanted to make the pun.
Honestly, failing at it. Yeah. It was silly. So then not Al Capone puts the brick in, it glows, then turns to a regular brick, and then is like, if you excuse me, I've got a train to catch. I'm like, what? So then we find out Cargo Bay 5 has started to depressurize, but everyone is fine, and Geordi put up a containment field, but he's also reading massive power surges in the cargo bay and transporter activity, and Geordi just goes, something weird is happening there, Captain. Like, yeah, Geordi, yeah.
Oh shit.
So then Picard orders a team down there to figure out what's going on. So Geordi and two randos enter the cargo bay, and they see, I called it a node, but it's what has now been referring to, like in the rest of this episode, as the object. But it's basically like a physical form of the pipes, windows thing. It kind of looks like a dog chew toy in a way, as well.
It's like a bigger version of the nodes, and it's in like the middle of the room rather than like in a panel or whatever.
Yeah, and it's kind of lit up a bit.
Yeah. And
so then Troy calls Data, and she's like, how are you doing? And then we cut to Data, and he's like, I've encountered a minor difficulty, counselor, but has been dealt with. And we sort of shift to the side, and Data's holding the fucking taxi back,
that's trying to
so
run
it doesn't
him
hit
over.
him, while the driver is like really like just like foot on the gas. It's burning rubber, and Data's like, it's fine, I'm fine, this is fine. So Data is ready to depolarize the power grid, and he starts pushing some buttons, and then the Enterprise starts to shake, and barrels start falling off the shelf in the cargo bay, and then
Worf comes in and has PTSD.
And so then Geordi says the ship is losing its structural integrity, and then the street, New York, starts to shake, and Worf shouts that it's an earthquake. Thanks, Worf. And then the brick wall section that not Al Capone just put the brick in immediately collapses to reveal a room behind it, in which I was then like, oh, okay, secret room. Maybe that's going to be something. It's nothing. It's truly nothing.
No, they don't go
I was
there.
like, why? Yeah, I was like, why would you put a brick wall to hide it for? I was like, I don't know.
Like, why couldn't they at least have done something like where they open that door and it takes them right back into the Orient Express? At least that would have been something.
But it's nothing.
Yeah.
So Troy then, like, all these bricks fell on her during like the earthquake, and since her face, same place as Picard at the beginning of the episode, is all scraped up as well. Someone learned how to do scrapes in the makeup department and was like, let me do it. So yeah, the Geordi then tells Data, like, hey, stop what you're doing, and we really need to maybe regroup and discuss.
Michael Westmore was just like, listen, I made way too many of these scrape prosthetics, so can we just add a bunch of scrapes into this?
Yeah. So then Geordi thinks that this all has to do with the object forming in cargo bay, and all the characters in the train are doing stuff related to building. So, like, they're putting together a puzzle, the foundation being laid, like putting the brick into the middle of the wall is foundation now. She goes, paper dolls are being fashioned, which I think is a reach. Because it's just the knight who cut out the paper figures earlier on.
Yeah.
I'm like, girl, that's a reach and a half. But it's all images of something being constructed. Like, cool. And that object in cargo bay is being constructed too. And it consists of like a few different compounds that they know, and then some that they don't. And Troy thinks the characters on the train are metaphoric system, like of the systems of the Enterprise. So like the engineer may represent the navigational system. Not Wyatt Earp could be the weapons system. But Troy is like, I don't think you can necessarily reason with them, but we got to figure out a way to sort of like work with them, because they're kind of making a baby. Oh no, they are a baby. They're like, they are kind of working in baby mode, because they don't really know anything, and they're just learning from the holodeck experience. So Troy wants to go back, but Geordi's just like, hey, let me remind you, safeties are off, so you can get shot for real. So she's like, it's a risk I'm willing to take.
Yeah, if you die in the holodeck, you die for real.
I'm real, yeah. So Picard is then like, also, whenever we try to do something, the nodes freaking freak the fuck out, and then we fail doing whatever we're trying to do. So try to like cooperate with them, like be nice. So Troy, Worf, and Data get back on the train, and this time they're like, we have 3 tickets to Veriform City. And then the conductor's like, welcome aboard.
Yeah, I have to admit,
here we go.
It always annoys me how long it takes them to just play along with the train tickets. Like the second time they go, why didn't they just bring tickets with them?
Yeah. Agreed. So then the lights flicker, and the conductor's like, oh, I hope we get to Veriform City on time. The train is running out of steam. And Troy's like, oh, how can we help? And the conductor's like, we need someone strong to help in engineering. And then Troy volunteers Worf to go help.
Yeah.
And
a part which makes no sense, because how does going onto the holodeck and shoveling coal actually physically speed up the Enterprise?
It's all a metaphor,
it's
right?
to like help. Yeah, he's just trying to help. It's like trying to earn trust or something. And so then Country Boy asks if they're going to get to the city on time or safely, whatever. And Troy's like, oh, yeah, for sure. Also, tell me everything about Veriform City. And then the Country Boy goes, oh, there's a restaurant where you can eat all you want anytime. Best food around. And I'm like, great. Well, now we have a restaurant rec for when you get there. But
well, that's actually a clue as to what
they're hungry.
Yeah, they're hungry. They're trying to find like this unlimited
find food.
Yeah, unlimited fountain
food
of whatever.
Anywhere.
They're trying to find an all-you-can-eat restaurant.
Yeah.
I get it. I mean, sometimes you really just want a buffet.
So then Worf begins to shovel coal into the boiler, and he does like 2 scoops, and the conductor's like, you're doing great. Great job. Put your back into it. I think at one point he says, I was like, Jesus. Yeah. Oh no, that's later.
I
so
wish there were reaction
power...
shots of Worf's face in that scene, because like you can just tell the way that he looks at him is one of those like,
So
okay.
I'll skip to this because there's like one thing in between. Yeah. But like, so Worf, when he is shoveling, and the conductor's like, yeah, put your back into it. I was like, oh, the keep saying that shit. And then, but Worf's face looks like he's about to throw the conductor into the boiler. Yeah. And I'm like, I support you, Worf. So meanwhile, during this, the warp power is back at normal levels. They're on course for Tamber Beta 6, which is a white dwarf star, which is important. So the ship is now using modified... Oh, they get there, and they are using a modified tractor beam to collect Veriton particles from the star. And Picard kind of like puts together, the Veriton particles, like Veriform City. That's what the ship was really looking for.
Verteron.
And so the Veriton particles...
Verteron.
The particles are being routed through the transporter system to Cargo Bay, and the object is absorbing the Veriton particles, and it's growing faster. I mean, honestly, it kind of looks the same size throughout the entire time we see it, but like, sure. It just gets more, maybe it's brighter. So then Geordi is picking up internal energy from the object. It's generating on its own. Great job. It's picking up coherent emissions, matter conversion, blah, blah, blah. But oh no, something is wrong. Power fluctuations. Veriton absorption rate is dropping. Particle beam has exhausted the supply of the Veriton particles in the Skadar. Nothing left to take out. Oh no, the energy output of the object is decreasing. And then back on the train, the conductor is like, oh no, this was supposed to be Vertiform City, and now we're we're on the wrong track. And he pulls the emergency brake, and then everyone kind of goes flying all over the place. So then Data tells Picard about the holodeck incident. Picard's like, so there's like a ship-wide shutdown. They've lost attitude control. I went back and just made sure he did say attitude control, but I'm not entirely sure what that means.
Attitude control is like your pitch.
it's like one of the directions that your ship points in.
Okay.
Yeah, I forget if that's like up or down or side to side or whatever, but it's one of those.
I think attitude is like side to side.
Because initially I thought, did I misread or mishear? Did they say altitude? But I went back and it said attitude.
Yeah.
So yeah, most systems are offline. Things are not looking good. So Geordi shows Picard on this little like Game Boy size thing that when the particle beam was cut off, the object began particle beam cut off.
I noticed that thing that he showed him, and I'm just like, that doesn't look like any of the pads that they ever use in the show.
Yeah, it truly like that red pink one.
Because like it's red.
So they're like, was forming a coherent energy matrix. The emission pattern were almost organic. The Enterprise is trying to create a life form. I'm like, the Enterprise is having a baby right now. And so
once again, this should have massive ramifications in the Star Trek universe.
But unless it gets another infusion of the Veriton particles soon, then they won't make
Dory, I looked it up. It's Verdion.
Yeah.
Verdion? I knew there was an I.
Yeah,
but
the I is after the T.
Yeah. Oh, do I keep pronouncing it before the T?
Yeah. You're saying Verdion. No, wait.
Because I've spelled
You're saying Veriton.
Yeah.
Because I spelled it correctly, but I keep saying it wrong because it doesn't sound good in my ears to say it the other way. I spelled it correctly every single time, Vertion, but I don't like...
Oh, there's no E.
Ver.
Sorry. Vertion. But there... Yeah. Although, to be fair, I'm looking up the article on Memory Alpha for... There's another particle that is a Verteron.
Oh my god, is there? Fucking Star Trek, man.
Yeah.
God damn it. All right, whatever.
I'm just going to call it particles for the rest of the time.
It literally doesn't matter. It's made up shit.
V particles.
If they don't get this infusion of particles, then the object won't make it. So the systems are sort of back online. Then Warp 9, whatever, Country Boy is like, we're heading to new Veriform City, of course. And so then... so basically they're going towards another white dwarf star. And Geordi's like, hey, it'll take about 12 hours to get there. But that's not the problem here. The problem is the ship has diverted all the systems to maximum propulsion, including life support. So we have like 2 hours of reserve oxygen. So then Picard is like, "Okay, Data, we need to fucking stop the Enterprise because this is actually bad. So Data, you need to fucking take over the train." So it turns out, so the white dwarf stars are the only natural source of these particles. And they're like, "Can we make artificial ones?" So Troy, Data, and Worf are about to head to go pull the brake, and then all the characters sort of turn on them, and it's kind of scary for a sec. And then Geordi, though he has found 2 places that could develop the particles if they detonate a modified photon torpedo inside of one. And so, but he's not like 100% sure if it's even going to work, but like they're going to try. Yeah. So they pick one that's a nebula, and they're like, "All right, I guess we're just going to try to head there." So Troy is able, though, to convince a country boy that they are a friend and they want to help. So the conductor's like, "Hey, we'll take one person." So then Data just goes up, and he comes face to face with the conductor and not Al Capone. And Data's like, "I know a shortcut to like get us over to New Veriton City." And but not Al Capone is like, "We don't believe you, he's lying, blah blah blah." And conductor's like, "It's okay, Data, we believe in you, we just want to get there on time, go ahead." So then Picard tells Data to slow to impulse speed, and so when they pull up to the nebula, they launch the torpedo. It starts to produce the particles, and they're able to beam them from the nebula to the object. And then the nodes are deactivating all over the ship. And then we have a shot of Dr. C, Picard, Riker, and Geordi standing around the object, and not one of them has like an eye line in common at this initial part. They're all kind of looking in different places. Yeah. Like, I think they're all supposed to be looking at the object, but it looks weird. But all the systems are, beginning to function normally again. And so then Picard says, "Then the purpose of the ship's intelligence was to simply bring this life form into being." And then Dr. C says, "There are some species whose sole purpose is to reproduce. Once they finally procreate, they die." So then the object starts to float up, and then just like later days out of the ship immediately, just completely just flies off. So then Data, Troy, and Worf cheers a drink for like success on the train, and then a second later they're back in the holodeck grid. So all the systems are all back to normal, no sign of the object, and friends, whatever.
Tiny nitpick about when they're like cheersing is that like the holodeck like shuts off, but they still have their glasses, which should have disappeared.
That's actually a really good point.
Yeah, their champagne glasses should have also disappeared.
Yeah. Oh.
Anyway, that's a very tiny nitpick, but I just wanted to mention.
No, that's a really good. No, I'm glad because I didn't think about that. That's actually a really good point. So then Data goes to see Picard in his ready room, and he's like, "Oh, I'm doing a performance of The Tempest for a small audience, and I'd really like for you to be there." And Picard's like, "Sure, what scene?" And he says, "Miranda's first encounter with other human beings. It seems appropriate." And Data then is like, "Hey, by the way, you took like a really big risk with this object. We don't really know what the fuck it is, where it, like what it does, where it goes. It could be fucking dangerous, and we've just like sent it out into the world. We've birthed it and let it go."
Yeah.
And then Picard is like, "The intelligence that was formed on the Enterprise didn't just come out of the ship systems. It came from us, from our mission records, personal logs, holodeck programs, our fantasies. Now, if our experiences with the Enterprise have been honorable, can't we trust that the sum of those experiences would be the same?" And Data's face is like, "We'll see." But my face was like, oh, so this object is now just going to be horny all the time.
I mean, yeah.
I'm like, that's what I got from this, is like, Picard, you... Like, if
its entire purpose is reproducing, that would make sense.
Yeah. So I'm like, I don't know if that's like necessarily a compliment. Like, listen, I'm sure the majority of people on the Enterprise are like great, but if like considering like personal logs, holodeck programs, like I am very scared to know what other people like holodeck programs
actually, that was something
there.
I mean, I think like
so
I was just gonna say, like, I think, like, you're implying, like most people on the Enterprise, I'd say, are probably relatively
but remember when they got off the holodeck and Picard
but
said,
I just
okay,
like
well,
it's
Data,
just horny.
Conduct an investigation. Also, shut off the rest of the holodecks while you do that. My immediate thought was, is he gonna warn people before he does that? Like, is someone just gonna be like in the middle and doing
there are other people in there
something, and it just stops and they fall flat on their dick or something like that? I'm just spitballing here, man.
That's true. They're
oh god,
they're like mountain climbing.
Supposedly, so Joe Menosky wrote the script, and supposedly, when they first did a read of it, the rest of the table's immediate thought was that Menosky must have been on mushrooms when he was writing this. And that was the first draft. So like they have since they had actually modified it so that it was less fucked up.
They should have just gone full tilt. Because I agree. Because I was gonna say, like, oh, I didn't think that this episode was that weird, but I guess they
90s.
Yeah.
Standards are much lower.
Yeah.
That said, I really dislike this episode, and it's not because the episode does anything wrong. It's because the episode doesn't do anything right with its ideas, and that really bothers me.
Yeah, I don't.
It's also boring as fuck.
Yeah.
It is.
That's what I was gonna get at too. It's just like. This is, it's the whole metaphysics thing, but, like, when they do other metaphysics episodes, they, like, are at least, like, pretending to be deep.
Yes. But, okay, it didn't even have to be fake deep, is the thing.
Yeah.
It's the episode, in the end, is dealing with an issue that is actually really profound. The creation, the unexpected creation of emergent life. And it treats it as passé, something that's just like, oh, well, that was pretty neat. All right.
Yeah, this episode is like...
It doesn't care about its own premise.
Yeah, it's not interesting at all. Because, like, in those other metaphysics episodes, it's like you watch it and you're like, okay, you're kind of, like, up your own ass, and this is kind of outdated. But this is a very, like, you could tell their heart wasn't in this one.
Yeah.
Their heart was not in this episode.
I think back to the, what do you call it, to the episode where that thing... the Enterprise accidentally kills that like fucking space amoeba thing, and like the baby comes out of it and latches itself to the ship, and like treated that life with far more like profound wonder than this entire episode even remotely tries to. And it's annoying to me because in and around this episode are other episodes that are throwbacks to or reason, like they're obviously trying to tie up a couple of loose ends that they think, oh, I feel like dealing with this or that in this end of the season. And Maggie, like, you're aware that we've got a couple of upcoming trying to tie up loose ends kinds of things too, or at least just stories that are throwbacks to older ones. And this episode could have done that. The way that they actually described this in the writer's room is we wanted to do the ultimate holodeck episode that like combines all the holodeck things. And I'm like, then why didn't you come up with a central character from a previous holodeck episode? Why didn't you bring back Moriarty? Why didn't you bring back fucking, I don't know, Minuet or something like that? You could have brought back somebody with like a profound importance to other characters who had a relationship with one of or more than one of the other characters, and they didn't do that at all.
And in my opinion, if you're going for like ultimate holodeck episode, they don't even actually spend that much time on the holodeck.
They don't. They actually don't get into the holodeck until like 20 minutes in.
Yeah.
And what do they see? A knight cutting up fucking snowflake paper. I don't know. A gangster guy from Gangsters of Triskelion.
Yeah, and
if
you're also if you're going for the ultimate holodeck episode, not enough sets.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
Like-
no, you know what? They could have gotten away with a small set and just combining a bunch of characters
Yeah.
if they had done something more interesting with the characters. So
Yeah.
I think so for instance, they're on a train, okay? I think to a story like what the hell is it called? It came out like 10 years ago. The one about the train traveling through the frozen hellscape of Earth after the
Snowpiercer?
apocalypse. Snowpiercer, yeah.
Yeah.
That is a film and book beforehand that follows, like, all of the sets are in train cars.
Mm-hmm.
And they could have done that. They could have redressed the train car as they move their way up the train and dealt with, like, different worlds of the holodeck on each train car.
Yeah.
But they didn't have anything like that.
Yeah.
So-
I always forget, like, where, like, whenever I remember this episode, I always think it's, like, in the middle of the series. Like, it's like a season 5 or 6
That's
thing.
where it belongs.
Yeah, but I always forget that this is the third last episode of the entire fucking series.
Yeah, it's almost the penultimate, and
It's-
yet it's meaningless.
Yeah, this is a very nothing burger episode.
And it's like I said, that's just the entire reason I don't like the episode is that it's sad that it doesn't do anything with this, especially because it's sandwiched between episodes that, at least, even if you have criticism of them, they're trying to do something with an old concept and bring it back.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's the greatest sin of this episode is that it's just really boring.
Yes. And that's very sad for TNG. I mean,
Yeah.
we have 2 more episodes, luckily, so, like, it's not over yet, but, like, fuck, man.
Yeah.
They could have done... I was actually watching another critique of this episode who brought up the same criticism that I thought of when I was watching it, how, like, this episode wastes its own potential. And he brought up the idea that that Minuet actually would have been an excellent character to bring back, because you've got this budding romance between Troy and Worf that they've been not, like, explicitly talking about, but it's there. And so you've got...
Yeah, sorry.
What?
Now, just now that you've brought that up, that reminded me that, like, Troy and Worf did not seem like they were together.
No,
in this
they
episode.
don't really deal with it in this episode at all.
Yeah.
That's why I said that, like, they
just
have
sort
a
of
budding
forgot, I
romance that's kind of there in the background when it's convenient, but usually they're ignoring it. But, like,
Yeah.
the episode could have brought back someone like Minuet into a moment where maybe Riker is feeling more vulnerable. His lost love has gone away with one of his friends. Or is starting off a relationship with one of his friends, and maybe he's feeling not great about it. And what do you have to confront that with? Oh, the one person that has come back into his life from a romance years and years ago that, you know, wasn't real, obviously. But like, when he had that weird that weird episode where he got taken in by that little gray alien, the kid. Where he's in, like, a Romulan facility and all that.
Yeah.
He dreams. Well, not he dreams, but the thing that they draw from his memory is Minuet in that episode. This is the person you married, and he's like, you know, I had really profound feelings for her, but she wasn't real. And, like, you could have dealt with that. You could have done something with that kind of story, and they tossed it, like, well, they didn't even toss it away. They thought they were coming up with an ultimate holodeck story and then didn't come up with anything ultimate about it. They just wanted to do a weird drug trip thing that ended up being boring instead.
Yeah, because if you're gonna do the whole, like, Worf and Troy thing, it's like, use it.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
Because, like, as a human being, right? Like, even if you're, like, totally okay with the situation, it's only natural you might have complicated feelings about it. And it's like Riker, like, probably genuinely does not have an issue with them being together, but it's like...
But he would be feeling more vulnerable.
Yeah, but still, it would, like... Yeah, maybe he's not, like, jealous or anything, but he's, like, you know, thinking about his own love life and that sort of thing. So I do
Especially
think that
because
would
he's
make
had...
sense.
Especially because he's had numerous moments throughout the last couple of seasons where he's sitting there questioning where he is in life and where he could have been.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you've already got a precedent set for him to have issues with it.
Yeah.
Even if they're not reasonable issues, and he could even understand that. But it would be a way for him to confront that. Like, here we are coming up with what the episode could have been.
Mm-hmm.
And like, that's just how little this episode delivers. Like, don't get me wrong, I really like TNG, but TNG does have a habit of being non-committal with ideas that could have been a lot stronger. When it took risks, like something like Best of Both Worlds and whatnot, it took big risks.
Yeah.
But it didn't do that very often. Most of the time, they played it safe.
Yeah, and I think sometimes they took the wrong lesson from their successes, too.
I agree with that, yeah.
Because I think we've talked about it before, but, like, Best of Both Worlds, it's like what they got from that is like, oh, we shouldn't plan what we have for a two-parter.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
that's,
it's like,
oh, fuck.
No, you've learned the wrong lesson from this.
Uh-huh. Oh, my God, Star Trek.
Yeah. I like Star Trek despite Star Trek. Sometimes, you know?
I mean, that's what it comes down to when you're a fan of something. You love it and hate it. You don't actually hate it. You just love what you hate about it. Because it's part of what makes it what it is. You take it in for all of its virtues and all of its flaws. And oh boy, there's a lot of flaws.
Dude, did you hear recently that one of the, I can't remember if he's a showrunner or what his role is on like New Trek, but he was like, oh yeah, I just want to see the Romulans and Starfleet fight each other. I don't want all that politics.
Oh, I didn't hear that at all.
Yeah, there's some guy like maybe it's not. Oh, I wish I could remember the name, because I don't remember if it's someone who works on the show or not.
Okay,
now that I'm thinking about it.
Because there was a guy. What's that? Was that popular sci-fi film that just came out? That
Project Hail Mary.
Yeah. So the I can't remember if it was the director. Yeah, I think it's the director of that. Maybe it was the original writer. I don't recall. One of the two was like kind of beating their chest about it, and then also took a minor dump on Star Trek in an offhand comment. And it was something along the lines of like, oh, well, the difference is I know how to write. And it was like, oh, that's a shitty thing to say.
Yeah.
And like, don't get me wrong, there's a lot to criticize about modern Star Trek, but like, they're not things that you can't just criticize about like a shit ton of stuff anyway right now. But
and one of my main criticisms is that they're not political enough.
Yeah, I agree with that. But there's a different issue where apparently I might actually be confusing shows here or movies and whatnot, but I know for a fact that the Project Hail Mary guy has flat out said that, oh yeah, there's nothing political in my story. That's just coincidental. I actually really despise when stories like force a message on you, and I'm just like, do you think environmentalism isn't a message? That's the point of
stories.
Like
the point of stories.
No, but that's his story is like. Oh, I mean, it's not a very deep one, but it is a very clear. What do you call it? Endorsement of environmentalism.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, so I can't lend my opinion. Enough. But like every the point of like I would say 90% of stories is to have some kind of message. Like that's the point of art and expressing yourself is you're trying to express a specific thing. And like whether or not like okay, maybe the story isn't necessarily political. Like maybe the story you're trying to tell is about like, you know, a story about how someone deals with grief or whatever. Like, you know, there's those aspects to it, but there's always kind of like you're trying to say something.
Yes, absolutely.
You know?
And I mean, it's even more frustrating because like what did these people grow up with? Like I'm sorry, you hear a story about, I don't know, the tortoise and the hare or something like that. That's a message. It's a very clear message. We talk about how it's a message when we're fucking 6 years old.
Yeah. Like, oh. like, here's... If you're like... It's entertaining because it means something, you know?
Yes.
Like, if you're just trying to create entertainment for entertainment's sake, that is just jangle keys in front of your face. That, like, you know, those baby, like, stimulus videos where they have, like, the little, like, CGI fruits bouncing up and down to music? Like, that is entertainment without a message. Yes. So, if that's what you want, okay, go ahead. Go make baby sensory videos where you literally just need bright colors and movement. But if you want to be a fucking storyteller and an artist, you have to have a point. Unless your point is no point, but then that's also sort of a point.
Now, what was Joe Manosky's point here?
Yeah.
Life's good.
Yeah.
Let's let life do its thing.
That's the thing. It's like this episode is again, this is like in the realm of like Voyager storytelling, where it's like you potentially have something interesting and then you just don't really do anything with it.
Oh yeah, definitely. This episode would fit in with Voyager.
Yeah, it doesn't have enough of a... I wouldn't necessarily call it a Voyager episode, but it's like getting into that territory for me.
Well, what I mean is it would fit in with Voyager. The difference is that they wouldn't be on the Orient Express. They would be in a fucking Irish town.
Oh, true, yeah.
Because I don't know what it is about Star Trek and the Irish, but man, there's something... there's some bad blood there.
I wouldn't say bad. No, I think it's the opposite, because they always indulge in, like...
Yeah, but there's always dogging on them is the problem.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
Like, think of that fucking Irish episode back in, the Irish Farmers one back in, like, season 1 or 2 or whatever. Like, they are the butt of the joke.
Clones?
Yes.
Yeah.
They are the butt of the joke. The fact that they are, like, fucking simplistic farmer Irish people is the joke.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's one of those things. It's like, you know, the Irish and the Italians in North America, at least, they've gained the status of white over here. But there's still that... It's funny because it's like people used to make fun of them because they were like considered minorities.
Yep.
And now people make fun of them because it's like, oh, well, they're considered white now, so it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point.
but like that's sort of like that bias still like it still presents itself in other ways.
Well, I read recently actually that it like the reason that the bias transcended from these people are not white to these people are white is because of black people gaining rights in the U.S. And after that, they were like, oh, well, we need to upgrade these guys so we have a bigger assortment of white people against them.
Yeah, and like that happened to a lot of cultures that
that's
were
true.
Previously not considered white. It's basically like, yeah, it's like, okay, you know what? We'll accept the Irish if it means being able to keep black people down more.
God.
Because there used to, like, it's basically to prevent solidarity.
Yeah,
that's the whole
definitely,
thing.
Definitely.
They're like, okay, we will give you the status as white as long as you don't team up with black people.
Or rather, I don't know if it's we'll give you the status of white as long as you don't. It's more of we're going to give you this status so that you're on our side now against them. You have to recognize they are the bad guys. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that was the point I was making, too.
Yeah, I figured. I was just kind of rewording it. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway.
Is there much else to say about this episode?
Not from my end. Dory, you got anything else you want to say?
No. It just was like... I mean, you put it, like, perfectly earlier. Nothing burger. Like, this was truly it's like, I think I've said this before. If you're gonna make like a whatever episode, at least make it enjoyable.
Yeah. Yeah.
Doesn't have nothing. Not everything has to be good, but like,
Yeah, because
at least this was so boring. This took me like so many hours to watch. Yeah. And it also is just, I think you guys kind of mentioned it was like kind of a bummer because it's, the third to last episode. I thought like you want bangers coming out at the end.
Yeah, and they really just did not do anything with it.
Yeah, I do think the last two episodes are... I remember really liking the next episode, and the series finale is generally considered quite good.
I'll be the judge of that.
No, you literally will. That's the point of our show.
I will. Yeah, I think that's really it. I don't have a lot to say for this.
And I think that's also the other thing is that, like I was saying, it's like the episode, it's not even silly enough to get entertainment that way.
I mean, that's something that I'll give to Voyager, is at least when Voyager did something that was really stupid like this, it would be fun.
Yeah. And that's the thing, as I think they played it too safe with this episode. They just should have gone much more silly.
Yeah, I would have been down with that. Do Genesis again.
And that yeah, like that would be, I think that would be a genuinely like good, like, because if they're like, oh, we want one last holodeck episode, it's like what you're saying is we want one last silly episode.
Dixon Hill versus Moriarty.
Yeah, exactly. like you should have, because Next Gen is like sort of praised for like its like, I think when most people think about it, they think about the more serious episodes. They think about like the actual like interesting philosophical like questions and stuff like that. But like TNG had a lot of silly shit to it too.
It did.
So, like, they could have done one last tribute to the silliness of Star Trek. But they just kind of chickened out.
I think, luckily, upcoming, you will see a more consistent trend when we get over to DS9, where they they do a decent job of pacing out the serious, because they are taking themselves more seriously. With the silly. So they'll have like, oh, here's a couple of serious episodes, and then here's a silly one. And I don't know, I find DS9's silliness it's not as, what's the word? It's not as ridiculous as TNG could get.
Yeah, I mean, barring some of those first season episodes.
Yeah, well, okay, good point. For the most part, it's not as ridiculous as TNG could get. But
yeah,
when it does get ridiculous, it really leans into it.
Yeah, I think for like as is tradition, welcome to DS9 Corner. But I think what I appreciate about DS9 silliness is that like once the show settles in, I think the way they treat it is less like there's silliness in the show because life is sometimes silly.
It depends. So, when they do their annual Ferengi episode, for instance, those can get pretty stupid.
Yeah. But I think, like, there's, like, dumb fun, like, just sort of weaved throughout the series and in episodes, in that, like, it's just, like, life is just, like... Even though serious shit is happening, dumb stuff is also happening at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just have to play a baseball game against Vulcans. That's just how it is. That's life.
Yeah. Here's the thing. It's like, okay, right now in the world, there's war in Iran with a huge global energy crisis looming because it takes a few months for these things to actually hit the thing. But also, your friend still falls down. Also, like, your grandma farts. Like, also, like, stupid shit happens at the same time.
Yeah, very good point.
It's, like, it's amazing because, like, this is just briefly reminded me of, like, I would read, like, articles from people, like, detailing their descriptions of, like, you know, what it was like, during World War II or, like, people that are in other, like, war-ravaged places. And one of the common themes was that, like, you're surprised by how just, like, day-to-day life just keeps going.
Because it has to.
Even while these, like, earth-shattering, world-changing events are going on. Like, you still gotta go to work. You know, you still gotta, like, make dinner. So I think that's sort of, like... And, like, I'm living that now, and I'm like, the world is... Like, in real life, it's like the world is in chaos, and I still have to go to work.
Yep.
And I think DS9 is kind of like that, too. And it's like, all these very serious things are happening, but also life is happening.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Like... Yeah. Anyway, that's what I think is the sort of why the silliness in DS9 works better, is because it's more of a just, like, you know, sometimes just funny things happen at the same time that, like, really serious shit is happening.
Mm-hmm. Yep, good point. And generally when funny things happen on TNG, they are not nearly as mundane.
Yeah. TNG is more like, you know, it's more of an established, like, we are gonna do something silly now. And it's like, we are taking a break from serious, rather than, like, okay...
But it's
like,
still usually
coexist.
like a silly adventure. Like, it's something like Q showed up and put everyone into Robin Hood, that sort of thing.
Yeah, it feels like it's taking a break from the seriousness, whereas, like, DS9, it's more like these things are happening at the same time.
Yeah, good point. Very good point. I still think, when we get to it, there's a silly episode with that's all about Quark and Odo in DS9. I won't say any more than that. You probably know which one I mean, Maggie, but it's dealing with a serious topic, but it is, because those two are just, like, at each other's throats all the time, it is very comedic. And that is one of my favorite episodes on the show. Just because it is it's not an adventure. It's, well, you know, they got stuck, they got to do a thing. It sucks. It's a little bit of life or death, which also sucks. But also, you know, they're going to get out of it because, well, I mean, it's a TV show. And the stakes are not dire enough ever when it's something like that, when they're main characters. But, like, still, it's like... It does a very good job of taking this serious moment and still just, this is just a thing we have to do now.
Yeah.
I love that episode. Okay, I won't, we don't need to go into that.
All right. We've gotten distracted clearly.
Very
so
much.
I think it's fair to move on to favorite moments and lines.
I like the opening scene.
Oh yeah, me too, actually.
Data was doing the Tempest. I liked finding out that Dr. C likes the Orient Express. Not for the train of it all.
Was your favorite character the Brick?
Not this time.
Aww.
My favorite character was the paper cutout figurines that the knight made.
Much more developed character, to be fair.
Yeah. Just looking through notes. I don't know. I liked when Worf and Data and Troy were on the train, and Worf was like, "Are you finished the puzzle?" It's like clearly not done. Yeah. I guess that's mostly it. I don't know. I didn't care about this episode.
Yeah.
It was boring. Yeah, I don't know. I
would say my favorite, like, I'm on the same boat where I didn't really have, like, that much. There's not a lot that stands out, so I guess my favorite part is when the conductor is like, you know, oh, you're not welcome here, and they finally have the train tickets, and he's like, welcome! Yeah,
that part's
that's pretty
funny.
much it.
Yeah, I also enjoy the opening scene quite a bit. I like when Star Trek starts doing, like, plays within the show, usually. Because it gives me a brief chance to see these actors performing other roles. And in this case,
Yeah.
I think what I like the most about that is the fact that Data is playing. Well, he's not playing Data playing that character. He's clearly Brent Spiner doing Shakespeare, and that's totally fine.
Yeah.
I'm 100% happy with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
And like it makes sense because Data would just be like drawing on other performances in order to like kind of put an amalgamation of one together. So it would seem like it's legit to us, and someone who's like an experienced Shakespeare performer would probably have thoughts about it. Apparently, what do you call it? Patrick Stewart was in this same play like I don't know, like a year before this, less than a year before this, 6 months or something like that. So it was interesting. Data asking him his opinion of his performance in it. I was just like, oh, it's a neat little bit of backstory.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, otherwise, I mean, I already expressed what I thought about this episode. It deeply annoys me that the episode is not what I want it to be, what it could have been. And because of that, there's not a lot that I end up liking about it. But you know what? My favorite character is the Brick.
Fair enough. All right, so time for predictions for the next episode. The penultimate episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation. So Dory, the episode is called Preemptive Strike.
Oh no.
Yeah. And here's how I will give you your hint for the next episode. I will give you 3 bullet points. The episode involves an undercover mission, potential betrayal,
Oh god.
and a character we have not seen in a while that I think you will be happy to see.
Ooh.
I was wondering how you were going to drop that clue, and I wasn't sure if you were going to flat out tell her and then have her guess what's going on. But I like the way you delivered that.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. So undercover, betrayal, and someone we haven't seen in a while that I'll be happy about.
It will defend it. I will say it depends on what your definition of betrayal is. So that's why I said potential betrayal.
Potential betrayal. Oh boy. I'm going to assume that the potential betrayal is by the person that we haven't seen in a while. Who would I be happy about? Q. I would be happy to see Kern. Gowron. Like, Gowron sucks, but at the same time, I kind of have like a special
I love
place.
just seeing Robert O'Reilly on
Ron.
screen. He always just eats up the scenery.
Yeah, it's like your enjoyment of a character is like it can be independent of whether the character's a good person or not.
I'm trying to remember who else I could. It's not going to be Wes because we already saw Wes. We said goodbye to Wes.
Yeah, Wes got his goodbye.
Yeah.
Wes doesn't show up again until the Picard show, and he's weird in it.
I'd love to see Luxana one more time, but I think we already had her last episode. I don't remember if she comes. I don't remember if we.
Yeah,
if
we had her a
established-
couple of episodes ago. We had a
Was that her
pretty
last
heavy episode with her.
Yes. I just don't remember if we established that was her last episode, or if she might.
I don't think we said.
I think
more.
I told you, but I'm glad you don't remember.
Oh, okay. Because I don't remember. I'm sure it probably was established one way or another what the deal is, but I don't remember.
I will say you will definitely be happy to see this person.
Okay. I just had a thought and I was like, but I'm wrong. I know it because, who would have made me the most happy? Is Worf's parents. But I know that's impossible because in real life, the actress who played his mom passed away. Oh, may her memory be a blessing. That would have been like, I really think the number one person I'd want to see was Worf's mom.
Did she pass away before the end of the series?
Yeah. That's what, because I looked it up a while ago because I loved her. Okay. I feel like there's lots of options, but I can only think of like a couple of people. Okay, well, I'm gonna my guess right now, based on, because I can't imagine the show would end without Q. So my guess is that it's gonna be Q, because it's so funny how from like at the beginning I was like, I hate Q, and now I'm like, yes, I hope it's Q. So my guess is it's gonna be Q.
Okay.
Because we haven't seen him in a really long time, and that is someone I would be excited to see. An undercover mission. I hate undercover missions with these because it's always useless. They're not. But of course, we needed to get one more undercover which the Enterprise crew was no business doing.
There's a great undercover mission in DS9 where they dress up like Klingons.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
No, it's fun.
Okay, I mean, do you want me to think of like what a betrayal could be, or the undercover mission?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So pick who you think is going to show up. Pick what the mission is, and how betrayal happens.
Okay. I'm just doing the whole episode.
I mean, that is the point of predictions.
Yeah. Okay, so they... Oh my god, it would be the worst person for it to come back? Kyle.
Oh god.
He sucks so much. Okay, sorry, I'm getting off topic. Okay, I'm trying to think of like what an undercover mission could be, because my brain automatically goes to like the one that's happened the most, where it's like, oh, we have to go find some archaeological items, and so Picard, for dumb reasons, is always leading it, even though he has no business leading these missions. So I'm gonna go with Old Faithful, that they're looking for an archaeological item, that maybe it's in a place, or they go to a new planet. I haven't done that one in a while, but maybe like they kind of have to sort of blend in to get to this site, and maybe Q offers to help them with his Q magic, whatever. And then when they're there, he's like, JK, I just want to see what happens if you have to like be confronted with like what's going on there yourself. So he like unmagics them, and then like the Federation shouldn't be there. And so then there's like a whole thing. Is that enough?
Okay, yeah, sure.
Where's the betrayal?
Q unmagics. He's like he disguises them so they can get to the safe safely, and then he's like, I just want to know what would happen, and then like unmagics them, so then reveals them to like their true self, and then they're like not supposed to be there as like Federation people.
I was gonna say, is it even a betrayal when it's Q?
That's why Maggie's potential betrayal.
Yeah, okay, fair.
Yeah.
Because Q doesn't see it like that.
Yeah. All right, I'll let you off the hook there. If you want to see if Dory's correct, watch along with us and join us for the next episode of Fully Functional, a TNG podcast.
Goodbye.